Think the best brands always make the smart moves? Think again. We're about to dive into the bizarre, the baffling, and the downright hilarious brand extension blunders that shook the market. Get ready to wonder, what were they thinking? Today on Art+Science. Hey there, I'm Kevin Hartman, Associate Professor at the University of Notre Dame and founder of the Art+Science Analytics Institute, where our mission is to make you a better data analyst. In today's video, we're taking a detour from strategic triumphs to visit the graveyard of truly terrible brand extensions. For every brilliant stretch, like Disney's theme parks, there's a baffling misstep like Bic Perfume or Colgate frozen dinners. We'll pull back the curtain on these cautionary tales, showing you how even well-established brands can go wildly off course, and what vital lessons these spectacular failures offer every data-driven strategist. We all know how powerful brand equity can be, and it's tempting to leverage that hard-won trust for growth by stretching into new territories. But what happens when that siren song leads directly into the rocks? This week, we're stepping into the graveyard to examine the bad and ugly side of brand extensions, these cautionary tales that offer powerful lessons. The bad happens when a brand's strength and credibility are such a poor fit in a new context that they fail to help or even actively inhibit the new product's chances of success. The parent's brand associations, instead of providing a helpful tailwind, become a powerful headwind. This typically occurs in two primary ways. One way is when the brand extending product is such a bad fit with the parent brand that the parent brand just lacks credibility. This classic failure mode occurs when a brand's identity is strongly tied to a specific lifestyle, set of values, or user image and doesn't align with the new product category, creating a jarring mismatch for customers. The brand lacks permission, frankly, to play in this new space. Consider these head-scratching blunders. Harley-Davidson wine coolers. Imagine pulling up to a biker rally, cracking open a wine cooler. This truly happened. Harley-Davidson discovered that its rugged biker image did not work for wine coolers, a product that failed to resonate with its target audience. The brand's identity was built on freedom and rebellion, making delicate wine coolers anything but relevant to its core audience. They offered no unique differentiation in a crowded beverage market, and ultimately, it was not a sustainable venture. Levi's, the king of casual denim, decided to venture into men's suits. A line of men's suits failed in large part because Levi's powerful association with casual living, rugged materials, and the outdoors were fundamentally incompatible with the world of formal wear. Their brand lacked the relevance for this category, couldn't differentiate against established suit makers, and clearly wasn't sustainable in formal wear. Bic, yes, the company known for disposable lighters and pens, thought, why not Perfume? Bic attempted to bring its value proposition of convenience and disposability to the perfume arena, but lacked the credibility and image required for such a prestige-driven product. The brand's association with cheap and disposable items made it impossible to achieve the differentiation needed for a premium personal product, and the lack of relevance to personal care meant this never was going to be sustainable. Another way that parent brand associations can doom brand extensions is when there's incompatible sensory associations. A brand's equity is sometimes built on a powerful sensory hook, a taste, a smell, a feeling. When that specific association is transferred to a category where it's not just irrelevant, but actively unappealing, the extension is doomed from the start. These are the ones that really make you cringe. Lifesaver soda, its core candy association, created the expectation of a drink that tastes like liquid candy, which proved unappealing as a beverage. The intense, sugary taste that was relevant for a hard candy was anything but relevant for a soda, making it impossible to differentiate it as a refreshing drink and thus unsustainable. Frito-Lay lemonade, the powerful brand link to salty snacks, created the unappetizing notion of a salty lemonade. This bizarre combination completely failed the relevance test for a thirst-quenching drink. Their brand equity actually created negative differentiation, making it fundamentally unsustainable as a beverage. And perhaps my favorite, the Colgate kitchen entrees experiment. Perhaps the most infamous example. The brand's inescapable connection to toothpaste taste created an insurmountable hurdle for a line of food products. I mean, can you actually imagine taking a bite and thinking, minty fresh lasagna? The overwhelming sensory association destroyed any relevance or palatable differentiation, dooming it from ever being sustainable. These bad extensions are costly mistakes and missed opportunities. However, they typically fail without inflicting lasting harm on the parent brand. A far more dangerous scenario unfolds when the extension doesn't just fail to launch, but actively pulls the mothership down with it. Worse than a failed product is one that lingers just long enough to harm the parent. The ugly outcome is when an ill-advised or poorly implemented extension damages the firm's most valuable asset, the brand itself. The brand damage can happen in several distinct ways. Diluting existing brand associations. For luxury or lifestyle brands, value is tied to a very specific and sharp and well-curated image. The ugly begins when undisciplined extensions add so many new, often inconsistent associations that the original, highly valued brand becomes blurred and diluted for everyone. The undisciplined and overuse of the Burberry brand through licensing agreements ended up plastering that brand on things like teddy bears and disposable lighter jackets. These extensions eroded Burberry's premium image and its ability to deliver self-expressive benefits, requiring slow and expensive recoveries to restore their prestige. By stretching into too many non-exclusive areas, Burberry lost their core differentiation as a luxury brand, making them less relevant to their high-end target and ultimately threatening their long-term sustainability. Now, that brand has made a great turnaround, but it was a long and expensive venture, creating undesirable attribute associations. Unlike dilution that muddles an image, this type of damage adds a sharply negative or contradictory trait to the brand's profile. An extension can create new associations that are potentially damaging to the brand in its original context. For example, there was a significant risk that sun-kissed fruit rolls could hurt the brand's core health image, or that Black & Decker, introducing small kitchen appliances, could tarnish its powerful, rugged tool image. In both cases, the new offerings risked undermining the primary differentiation and relevance of the core brand, making it harder to sustain their established market positions. The brand fails to live up to its promise. The ultimate risk is a catastrophic failure in the new product that creates a crisis of trust for the parent brand. When this happens, the damage isn't contained. It can affect every product carrying the brand name, especially if the extension doesn't deliver on the key brand promise. The threat of a single, devastating incident is why Fisher-Price has been inhibited from entering the childcare business. A negative event there could affect the entire broad portfolio of children's products. For Fisher-Price, the risk to their core sustainability and relevance as a trusted children's brand is too high if they can't genuinely differentiate and deliver on safety in a new high-risk category. Taken together, the bad outcomes where a brand fails to help the extension, and these ugly ones where the extension actively harms the brand, serve as powerful warnings. They highlight the significant risks of a poorly conceived strategy and underscore the critical need for a strategic check and balance, a role perfectly suited for the data analyst. Faced with these cautionary tales, it is clear that intuition and ambition alone are poor guides for brand extensions. As analysts, we are the guardians at the gate, tasked with bringing objective rigor to the conversation and transforming strategic ambition into calculated risk. Our role is to ask the tough, data-backed questions before a bad idea becomes an ugly reality. Here's how to put that into practice. Prioritize fit and credibility with rigorous analysis. A brand must have believable permission from consumers to enter a new space. It's the analyst's job to verify this through market and fit analysis before launch. For example, audience perception studies could have immediately flagged negative toothpaste taste associations for Colgate kitchen entrees, while market research into the beverage preference of Harley-Davidson's core consumers would have almost certainly revealed the clear mismatch for its wine coolers. Forecast the full impact of brand associations. An extension can enhance a brand's image or severely damage it by creating undesirable associations. Analysts must model this risk by forecasting the potential for brand dilution, as seen in the overuse of the Burberry brand, or the creation of negative attributes, such as the risk of sun-kissed fruit rolls harming its health image. Tracking shifts in brand perception and core attribute association is the practical way to measure this. This is about protecting differentiation and sustainability, ensuring the offering lives up to the brand's promise. A strong brand can only enable an innovative offering. It cannot save a weak one. The analyst's role is to flag the narrative versus reality gap where a product fails to deliver on the brand's key promise. For instance, if Black & Decker's kitchen appliances were perceived as unreliable, analysts would be responsible for tracking whether that negative perception was damaging the core power tool image, connecting performance data to the brand's story. This safeguards relevance and sustainability. By embedding these actions into our processes, we move from being passive reporters of data to active strategic partners in protecting the brand. Brand extensions are a powerful tool for growth, but they are a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. The difference between a good extension and an ugly one often comes down to strategy. Ad hoc, opportunistic decisions are risky. A rigorous, data-driven approach that respects the brand's core identity, understands consumer perception, and courageously flags risks is the only way to ensure a brand stretch leads to new heights, not to a cautionary tale. As an analyst, your mandate is clear. Does this extension make us meaningfully different? Is that difference relevant to a market that will pay for it? Is our advantage sustainable enough to win in the long term? And remember, smart brands extend with intention, and smart analysts ensure that intention is grounded in proof.